Hello friends. Just like going through the preamble and the comments about any book, it is essential for a trekker to know about the legends of any trek before attempting it. Kedarkantha, one of the best winter treks, has got so many legends to its credit. So, the legends first. Kedarkantha is a mountain peak at 12,500 feet located in Supin Range within Govind Wildlife Sanctuary. We approach the peak from the other side, that is from a small village called Sankri on its northern side, coming up via Judicata in the Supin Range, crossing over to Luhasu campsite in Singtur Range. We also descend northwards via Argaon and back to Sankri. Winter treks become hard from the word go, as sun refuses to come out till late mornings. In the northern parts, fog prohibits its appearance till almost midday. Arriving at Dehradun through various modes air, train, and road, we report at Mussoorie first, where individuals and small groups consolidate into large ones. In our case, a pack of 52. Next morning, we ascend towards Sankri, just over 150 kilometers. Less than 6 hours practically stretches to almost 10 hours or even more. An amazing drive keeps getting more interesting as we reach the higher terrains. Road condition is generally good, barring of course the fag end. We reach Sankri, a small laid-back village around 3:30 p.m. The numbers in the camp swell 3 times here, as there is one group preparing to leave next morning, one group coming down from the trek, and one us. So we are suddenly a crowd, but we all gel well as there is one cord binding us all, passion for trekking. We do get entertained by outgoing group passing on baton to us to do the same for the next group the next day. But before that, a much needed grind in the early morning. Mind it, we all have come from heights of near zero to just 500 feet. We are now at 6,000 odd feet and attempting to be at 12,500 in next 3 days. So various exercise schedules interrupted in between by seeing off the previous group, followed by breakfast, and then continued with a long acclimatization walk till 1 p.m., where we also get familiar with our fellow trekkers. We return by the lunchtime at 1. In the evening, we have to get our luggage sorted out and deposit any extra stuff so that we have only as much as we can carry in backpacks. Those in charge start preparing for the evening programs. Yes, it is taken seriously by most of the participants. The fourth day breaks, and after an enriching breakfast, we are on our way to what we have come for. Wished by our successor group, the pack of 52 proceeded to Kedarkantha. Just about 5 minutes along the road, and the guides ushered us off-road, up in the natural terrain. Things were going pretty cool till we reached a point where small tea stall was operational. This is where mild snowfall started. For many, or rather most of us, it was first time they encountered the pleasure. For seasoned ones, it was fun, but the rest immediately went into protection. After 15 minutes, we started upwards with snowfall still going on. Within 5 minutes, both the guides, Arvind and Ram Singh, put on their protection, and that was sign for everyone. Then onwards, the heaven broke loose. In half an hour, the entire greens around and browns below turned into white. In another hour, we reached the next tea stall. By this time, everyone started to enjoy the newfound fun. Many imaginative ideas came up, like playing cricket without bat and with snowball, making Ganesha out of snow, and where there is snow, there is music too. Therefore, flute was apt for the occasion. It turned out to be one of our guides also was a decent flutist. We stopped just short of our camp at Judicata to recount what we had left behind so far, and the view was so blissful, to say the least. We sapped in the beauty into our minds. Reaching the camp, a few skidded their way into the tents to leave the luggage, but we were far from getting any rest yet. We did all kinds of imaginative things while having our tea, followed by soup, and shortly again followed by dinner, all in the reasonably heavy snowfall out in the open. From here onwards, there would be no electricity either. The snow intensifies. Another 360-degree view. Guys, 360-degree view. अरे यार तुम लोग तो बैंक लूटने के चक्कर में लग रहे हो पूरी तरह से एकदम हैं तैयार है हथियार हम स्विस बैंक लूटने जा रहे हैं. We retired into the tents by 6, only to emerge out again at 9. The sky had cleared so well. One amongst us, Tejas, knew everything about constellations, and another, Mahesh J.S., knew everything about photography. A lethal combination to spend next 2 to 3 hours. In fact, we lit the area with our torches and did some decent night photography of the campsite as well. Later in the night, it started to snow again. Next morning, the snow, which was ankle high when we arrived, was already over 1 foot deep. So, about 13 from the pack of 52 got trumped by the weather taking the turn. It was expected to get better and better along the way forward. The heaven was expected to break loose further. The balance 39 of us proceeded up to the Judicata, which was about half an hour further up. As expected, the pond was frozen. Most of us gave a pass on walking up to the top of the pond, except for 3 of us who followed the daring guide, Arvind. It was an absolute fun making incredible shapes in fresh snow, and the fun ended with some somersaults as well. Of course, by Arvind. Who else? Climbing up from Judicata, we walked further to yet another tea stall after about 1 hour or so. Snowfall was relentless. After resting for about 45 minutes, many of us were willing to give up the effort to go further. But when a handful showed decisiveness, 28 voted for the ascent, and 11 more out of 39 leftovers from the pack got trumped, opting for a descent. So, Kedarkantha is up there. We are heading for our Luhasu campsite. There are our group members heading for the campsite, which is behind the trees. That's our campsite. Let me capture that for you. Let me take a closer look of the campsite. We'll be able to reach there in say about 5 minutes. But the point is that we will not be able to do the summit trek tomorrow. The 28 of us, 4 girls out of 12 and 24 boys out of 40 who started off, reached Luhasu base camp by around 3 pm. By now the snow was 1 feet 6 inches deep. We had the same routine of tea, soup and dinner, and off we go to the tents. No adventures tonight. It kept snowing till past 10 pm. That too very heavily. We had to beat the retreat from Luhasu base camp, as summit was out of the question. But trekkers still 3 days before us went till top. They opt to go up early in the morning at 3 am to catch the rising sun. And here is what to expect as we reach the peak. As collaborated by my Hampta Pass teammate Siddhant Mahajan. Just sap in, and I promise the views will bring a poetry on your lips. Kedarkantha is famous for giving you a grand view of 13 peaks in a row, which is a treat to watch. Let's take a look at how are we faring at Lhasa, where we were told that if snowfall continued for another couple of hours, we were to be rescued. There would be no way to cut through the snow to reach back. Our climbing down was quite challenging as we had to cut through the new snow. It was a trying and tiring experience, and we had to cut the snow all the way to Argaon. In the process, we all got every bit of our feet and innards wet for obviously two diametrically opposite reasons. Of course, the innards because of sweat, please. It was an absolute fun though, and a great experience for all of us. By the time we arrived at Argaon camp at just past midday, the group again got split wide open. Most of the people opting for continuing to the Sankri camp in same stretch, but looking into beauty around, a few opted to stay back. Things settled for 10 in favor of staying and 18 in favor of descending. But this time we parted singing a song.
ये मत बोलो तुम लोग जा रहे हो कोई तूफान नहीं आना चाहिए हैं?
Which side yours truly tilted? Good question. Obviously in favor of staying back, no? Had one tent to myself, it was a luxury too precious to let go. Just watched out of the tent, sitting in double blanket. It was sunny out there and sunset was scheduled at 4:30 p.m. So good 3 hours of peeping out interrupted with tea and soup. Dinner was served after sunset at 5:30 p.m. After a leisurely and latish breakfast at 8 a.m., we left for Sankri, descending with a lot of fun and frolic, cutting through snow. We had quite a few long slides down the snow, walking through vast expanses of apple orchards. We briefly stopped at the first peak point where snow started while ascending. As we arrived at Sankri at lunchtime, things were not the same here as well, though nowhere near what we witnessed in the last 4 days.
As I always say, my present travel is the best, and still better is the next. Here is your friend and host signing off on Kedarkantha. I hope you all enjoyed the journey.